só chegar a esta casa.
But hello everyone and welcome to 4pixels. Kanetsu and Coco are here and we are continuing the house in Fata Morgana. And we have to start off with a warning. And this is a warning that I really ask that you pay attention to. If you were here during the last stream, then you know exactly what's going to happen here. If you don't, you can probably take a guess from the fact that I'm giving you a warning and what this image depicts. There is going to be a rape scene. We are not voice acting this. I'm just going to read it by myself straight. I went ahead and watched the scene because I wanted to be able to properly warn people, and also because I needed to make sure that this scene did not violate Twitch's rules. Now, it's a very short scene, and it doesn't describe too much physical action. I think there's only 4 lines, but they're still pretty horrific. So, for those of you who are watching on YouTube right now, I'm going to put a timestamp on the screen. If you do not want to witness this, you can go ahead, fast forward to that timestamp, and the scene will be over. And if you do not want to listen to this particular scene, you can go ahead and mute the stream, and I will type in chat once it's over. But yes, let's get this over with. Come over here, Giselle. Okay, may I ask why you asked me here so late at night, Master? Oh, I just wanted to have a little chat. Care for some wine? Come closer and I'll pour you a glass. I had this wine imported from up north. They use very hard water and like it rather tart, so it leaves quite the lasting impression on your tongue. And yet it goes down so easily you just can't seem to stop. What do you say? Have a sip. Or does your expertise as a trader allow you to evaluate a wine's quality without tasting it? No, but please, Giselle, don't trample all over my good graces. Very well then, I will have a sip, Master, but no more. Have you ever considered growing out your hair? Having long hair made it difficult to do my job. You're not a merchant anymore, though. You deserve to look like the woman you truly are. I have no doubt longer hair would accentuate your natural beauty. It's a gorgeous shade of black, so deep a man could get lost in it for years. It would contrast the color of your skin fabulously. Highlight your eyes, your cheekbones, your nape, your shoulders, and your chest. I should get going. Oh, but we're not done talking yet. I would not want a lack of sleep to interfere with my ability to work tomorrow. Thank you very much for the wine. It was delicious. No need to be so cold-hearted now. For the moment I first laid eyes on you. Master! That's enough fooling around for one night. Now, don't be afraid. I wouldn't do anything to hurt you. I simply want to express my love. Let go of me. I only came here to work, nothing more. The first time I saw you, I thought it would be a tragic waste to leave you to wither away working at some little street side shop. Stop! You can't tell me you didn't know a merchant girl had no place in a house like this, even as a servant. There's only one reason you would be allowed here. No, I swear it never even crossed my mind. Ha, it would seem you are even more innocent than you look. But you figured it all out by now, haven't you? No, let go of me. Stop this. Keep your voice down. Do not shout, Giselle. If anyone were to find out about this, you would be the one shouldering the consequences, not me. But you're a maid and I'm the master of the house. Whose words do you think hold more weight? Don't worry, I won't do anything to hurt you. I promise your family will be exceptionally well taken care of. Your mother will have the comfortable life you wanted for her. But you know what will happen if you raise a fuss and make a fool of yourself. Not only will your family not get any of our money, not only will your sister not get to marry, you'll all spend the rest of your lives on the street. How could you be so cruel? This is blackmail. Blackmail? For a merchant's daughter, you don't know much about trade, do you? Then let me give you a little lesson about market value. The goods you're after, Giselle, are not cheap. Understand? Now let me see that beautiful body of yours. He was an older man, so I hadn't expected him to be very strong, but I couldn't break free of his grip, and I found myself entirely at his mercy. Beneath the gaudy outfits lay a hungry beast, and I was seeing the creature's true colors for the first time that day. The aging man ran his disgusting slobbery tongue across my exposed skin. Everything he placed his hands upon withered away. Every piece of flesh he pressed his lips against putrefied, rotted, decayed, rankled. I trembled in revulsion, at which the man laughed, seemingly interpreting it as something else. I wonder what kind of place hell was. If hell's wardens only flayed and carved their prisoners, I would have preferred that instead. I would have rather been sliced into tiny little chunks and cast into the hellfire. I would have chosen eternal torment over being touched by this man another second. But I didn't get to choose my hell. Eventually the man forced open the gates I had been holding fast and spread his festering death inside me. Listen to me, Giselle. It is in both of our interests to keep this between the two of us. If you can do that, I'll continue to do good by you and your family. Oh, don't look at me like that, please. I'm thrilled to have you here in this house, Giselle. She has long since lost her mind after all. It's torture just being in the same room. And my sons, they hardly ever come home. But you, Giselle, you give color to my dull life. You make it exciting once again. Now go back to your room. I'll be waiting here at the same time next week. I couldn't escape from that man's grasp, not when he used his family against me. Some weeks I would just not go into his chambers, my once feeble means of subsistence. But when I did that, he would send another Abigail to come find me the next day. I couldn't ignore his summons when he got other people involved, and then, when the two of us were alone, the mask would come off, and he would discipline me for not showing up before taking care of his usual business. On good days, he would leave bruises in inconspicuous places, my abdomens, my inner thighs, but he went as far as carving a word into my skin with a knife. Harlot. That was why I was afraid of knives. That was why I was afraid of men shouting. I wasn't even sure what to regret anymore. I was in far too deep. There was no turning back the clock. I even considered taking my life on more than one occasion, but every time the thought crossed my mind, happy memories came with it. Back when it was just the three of us girls and the shop. Alright. Life may not have been easy, but it was never dull either. I didn't want to end my life at its absolute lowest point. I wanted, if just temporarily, to go back to the way things were back then. That objective was the only thing that allowed me to keep going. When I was in his presence, I tried to convince myself I was merely an object. I had no emotion, so he couldn't hurt me. I was merely a vessel, a construct of flesh and bones. His hands couldn't reach my heart, for it was not connected to my body. Doing that made it a little easier to bear. But the reality was it was impossible to completely sever my heart from my body. Want to take over this one?
Yeah. You're Giselle, aren't you?
One day, the mistress of the estate stopped me in the halls. She had, supposedly, once been quite beautiful, but now she was only haggard and bony. Her skin dry, her eyes sunken, her hair faded and stripped of its luster, her head down, her cracked lips barely moving as she spoke. Age didn't appear to be the only thing working its merciless magic on her either. There seemed to be something eating away at her from the inside, too. Something that could burst at the lightest touch. Yes, I am Giselle. Is there something I can do for you? The mistress rarely ever left her chambers. I had been told it had been years since she attended family supper. So what could bring her to come looking for someone like me?
Me too.
What? I wasn't sure I wanted to know the answer.
You're having relations with my husband, aren't you? You are, aren't you?
Madame.
You wretched creature! She was telling me the truth. One of my trusty maids caught a glimpse of you through a crack in the door. She saw you with him, you filthy rat! You seduced my husband. You devil! You conniving witch! You don't get it, do you? You don't realize how grievous your sin is, do you? Someone, anyone, restrain this girl. She's a demon, a devil. Tie her up and hand her over to the clergy. Oh no, that won't be enough. A witch. You have to burn her bones, scatter the ashes, or she'll just come back to life. Yes, execute her. Kill this woman, burn the witch. Seize the piece she's stolen from me. Cursed. It's cursed. This house is cursed! Not only has it taken away my daughter, now it's trying to take away my husband! Oh God, please shine thy cleansing light upon this house!
I knew it would be a waste of breath trying to talk to her. She was not of sound mind. There was madness in her eyes. I didn't even have to make a fuss about it. It happened all on its own. If there was no way around it, then I should have just done it myself after the first time. I didn't have the energy to argue with her, or to cry, or to shout. Before long, a crowd began to form around me and the sobbing mistress, and in it stood him. I assumed he would just stand back and watch. But much to my surprise, he stepped in, with an embarrassed look on his face, to try to settle his wife down and convince her not to have me executed. Maybe he did have a heart after all, or maybe he just wanted to save face. Regardless, instead of being burned at the stake, it was decided that I would be sent away to some remote forest. One of the previous Boliner family heads had purchased a mansion there long ago, but it had been abandoned because of the stories people told about it. They said a cursed witch dwelled in the house. She had returned to life after being executed, and now skulked about in the darkness. It was the perfect place to banish a sinner. And so, accused of adultery, I was in a carriage on my way out of the capital the next day. I hope my mom and sister are all right. The two of them will believe in me, even if no one else does. The wooden wheels turned, carrying me away to that cursed mansion. Just a silent coachman and his single, solid passenger. Looking out through the window, I could see the city walls slowly fading into the distance behind us. I doubted I would ever set foot in this land again, ever cross the Grand Pont again. It was a saddening reality, but at the same time, I felt a surge of relief. I had finally escaped from that house. I had finally escaped from that man. This sense of freedom lately slightly lessened the weight of everything else I was feeling. A good while after we left the capital, the coachman handed me a letter. On the sheet of parchment was a rather startling revelation. There was someone else already living at the house where I was to reside. The Bulliner's youngest child. But the letter didn't say why he had been sent to the cursed mansion, only that he was there. Beyond that, the letter only made a single request. That I look after him and not ask any questions. So, I'm not just being sent off in the middle of nowhere. I still have work to do. If I look after whoever is at the mansion, then they'll do the same for my family. I don't have much to say in the matter either way, I suppose. The carriage rattled and shook as it traversed the stony path and bouncing around inside it. I resolved to take my life back. The peace I had once known, the cheerfulness I had lost. And to do so, I would forget, lock away my memories, bury every terrible thing that had happened to me, cast aside those memories and find my smile once more. I have no idea who I'm going to find there, but they couldn't possibly do anything worse to me. I'll greet them with a smile and do my best to build up a decent relationship with them. I figured, since the both of us had been banished to the same cursed mansion, there would probably be other things we had in common. And so, I would forget it all and get my life back. Get my smile back. And that was everything that led up to me arriving at the mansion. All the wounds I never wanted to open again. I didn't want to think about that. I've been trying so hard to forget about it. I wanted to forget all about it. So why? Why did you have to make me remember? All I did was believe. Believe that we could make things work. Why? How could you? God, I can't take it anymore. Once the memories had broken free, they all flooded back with perfect clarity. Exactly how he ran his hands across me. Exactly where he hit me, where he cut me. Like I was going through it again this very moment. The rain was cooling me down on the outside, but so much nauseating heat had built up in my gut. I vomited all over the ground. I threw up and I threw up and I threw up until there was nothing left but bile. And when I had nothing left to expel, the strength evacuated from my knees and I collapsed. I didn't know if everything was blurry because of the rain, or because my eyes had decided they were done looking at anything. The whole world twisted before me. Michelle's no different. My attempts to get close to him, to always keep a smile on, it was all a waste. The look in his eyes was terrifying. Like he didn't believe in anything at all. So he probably wouldn't have believed me if I had told him the truth. If he's convinced I have an ulterior motive, there's probably no changing his mind. Such cold rain. If I lie down here and go to sleep, I wonder if all the warmth will eventually drain from my body, and then I'll decompose and become part of the earth. You know, that might actually be nice. I'd like that. I always thought I didn't want to die, that I wanted to go back to the way things were. But who cares anymore? I did my best, after all, and that still got me nowhere. Cheerful Giselle was all just a farce. And when I'm dead, all my worry for my mom and sister will fade away with me. Oh God, I doubt you have a place for me on high. I am, after all, an unclean woman, and I've given up on living altogether. But even if I can't get into heaven, that's okay. I want release. The rain pitter-pattered down through the leaves overhead, chilling my skin. The cold spread through my flesh and into my bones, my heart and lungs and stomach, freezing me like a block of ice. My consciousness drifted away from me, and the world slipped through my fingers. More than fear, I felt relief. Utter black. And that, I was sure, was the end of me. And that, I was sure, was the end of me. Kinetsu? I think I might have lost her.
Sorry, my food came.
Oh, okay.
I am, even now, putting her through a harrowing experience. Digging up the memories she locked away, the past she wanted to pretend never happened, and laying it all out before her once more. But I must get her back. Oh wait, this is Michelle! But I must get her back to who she once was, even if it means forcing her to endure this. She must remember everything. Because I need to know. Why did she become the maid? And what secrets does this house hold?
You're... Michelle.
Yes, my name is Michelle. I am not the white-haired girl. The person you were searching for was the man who once hurt you deeply. Me.
Why?
What was her why referring to? Why I hurt her? Or why I'm here? Or perhaps why I didn't show up until now? Not having an answer for her, I clench her cold hands in mine. I wonder, were her hands as cold that night too? There's still more we need to see though. And it's still too soon for me to apologize. When she's gotten everything back, only then can I. Once she's reclaimed herself. That is when I must tell her. Now, let us return to our past. Our story has only just begun. No matter what we thought or what we desired, no matter what we lost or how much pain we suffered, we must not shut this door. Perfect darkness embraces us once more. Michelle's eating popcorn while he watches this, okay? I can see nothing, not even the woman beside me.
May I have some, Michelle?
No. You can eat the cheese that has gone rotten.
Wow. I feel the love.
But I shall not let go of her hand. I do not want her to slip away from me. I do not want to lose her. Again.
Oh,
Stay with me. Are you alright?
ah,
How's your head? Can you see me?
what?
You had me scared silly there. That's not Michelle.
No, it's too nice.
I thought I might have lost you for good. I'm really glad you're alive.
Where am I? And who is
Oh,
this
it's man.
man? Might be the one who, like, is supposed to watch over Michelle. What was I doing?
You feeling up for any food? I can whip up some porridge for you right quick.
Ah, I was in the forest. It was raining. Before that, I was at the mansion. I feel sick. Like there's still something in my stomach. No, thank you. I don't want anything.
You really should have something. You need to keep up your energy. Unless you want to conk out again in an hour.
Sounds good to me. I'd rather never wake up at all.
You're not in the highest of spirits either, it seems. All the more reason to get something warm in you. Please, have something. I've got some milk on the fire. I bet you can handle a cup of that. You start losing all hope once the cold gets that deep in you. Reaches down to your... Take my word. Take me at my word, please. Just one sip. You'll feel like a whole new gal. Yeah,
A heart-wrenchingly pleasant aroma wafted up from the steam from within the wooden cup. Succumbing to the sweet smell, I lifted the cup to my lips for just one sip, and the warmth that spread through me brought tears to my eyes. Perhaps there really was kindness in the world. A ripple spread across the surface of the milk.
Oh no, it's her tears.
I heard a gentle sigh come from the man beside me. After which he said with a smile, "You should take it easy for the day." I had lost the willpower to think about anything. I didn't care what had happened to me or why I was here, who he was, or even where this was. I spent the whole day in bed, just watching the sun slowly slide across the wooden floor. It felt like I was somewhere far, far away. At times, I felt like a lost child, and at times like a sickly old woman on her deathbed. Watching the sun travel gave me a renewed awareness of the passage of time, and the fact that each moment that went by was another moment I was alive. I realized then that it had been a while since I had gotten more than a brief glimpse at any sunlight. It almost surprised me how colorful the world seemed beneath the sun's light, something I didn't get much of in the dark mansion. Only after losing something do you realize how much you need it. Warm milk, the light shining through the window, and a bed that smelled like springtime. With those three things, my heart slowly began to defrost, and I started to regain the willpower to stand on my own 2 feet. Thank you for everything.
You sure you're in any shape to be on your feet?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm not hurt.
You looked pretty beat up to me. But you look a lot better now. And you're talking a lot more clearly than before.
You've been very generous despite never having met me before, and for that you have my deepest gratitude. Without your help, I would no longer be in this world.
I don't deserve your thanks. You are alive now because God's guidance made it so.
God,
I came across you early this morning as I was heading into the forest to hunt. Imagine my surprise seeing a young lady like you on the ground in my path. What were you doing in the forest? Nah, you don't have to tell me if you'd rather not. Everyone's got their own share of personal problems.
you're not going to demand I talk.
I have no reason to force you to do anything. You look like you've been to hell and back.
What?
I could tell just looking at you. Now then, do you have somewhere you can go?
Somewhere to go? Of course I don't. I can't go back to the capital or the mansion.
If not, then why don't you stay here?
Here?
Sure, it's a small village. We're self-sufficient and we all help each other out. No tax-hungry lords know we built the place up either, so we keep everything. We're pretty remote as a result, and the harvesting's fantastic, but I'm sure you'll find it comfortable here. The rest of the villagers will be glad to have you. What do you say?
Sorry, Mom. What I'm about to do might make the rest of my family's lives more difficult. But I don't want to have to feel any more pain. If I really wouldn't be inconveniencing you, if it's really okay, then yes, I would like to stay here.
That's great to hear. I was loath to send you back out there in your current condition. I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? The name's
Johnny! Where are you? Let me see if I can quick Google that pronunciation.
Amete.
Or if anyone in chat knows. That sounds Warm, we need you! Let's see. Okay. Hamade?
Amete?
I think I found something on YouTube that says.
Amity.
Amity?
Amity?
Amity.
Amity.
Okay.
The name's Amity, just one lonely villager of many.
I'm Giselle.
Giselle. That's a beautiful name. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a vacant house. Clean it up and you can call it home.
Seems a little too convenient, I worry.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't possibly ask for that. I doubt others would like it if I just took a house for myself.
That shouldn't be an issue. I'm the village's representative, more or less.
Representative? Like the chief?
Only in name, though. As I mentioned, we're not on any lord's map, so I don't have much representing to do. The only reason I ended up in charge is because I'm a bit more educated than anyone else. It was a long time ago, but I understudied with a priest. Because of that, I'm familiar with the Bible's teachings. So rather than chief, the people of the village look at me more like a priest. Wouldn't be much fun if the church found out about that. They're liable to think I'm acting unordained.
Then you believe in God?
That's quite the question. Of course God exists. He's always watching over us. That's why you survived, because he protected you. I understand that your faith can waver when you're going through times of tribulation, but those are the times when it's most important you keep sight of who you are.
Right.
Now, you go get some rest. Tomorrow I'll show you around the village.
Thank you. I truly mean it. I really, sincerely appreciate everything.
Don't mention it, Giselle. This is your village now too, so you don't need to act like a stranger anymore.
Okay.